Beyond the Mic with Sean Dillon.
Here at Beyond the Mic, we're here to give you the best conversations with actors, artists, authors, and people you need to know. When a guest comes in from the realm of Star Trek or Star Wars, there's only one person that needs to do it. So enjoy special guest host Dave Fernandez as he takes you beyond the mic with the doctor from Star Trek Voyager, Robert Picardo. Dave, it's all yours.
Joining Beyond the Mic is Robert Picardo, who has provided voiceovers for animation, video games, is star of stage, the big and small screen, most famously on 7 seasons of Star Trek Voyager as the holographic doctor. Robert has a lifelong interest in science and exploration and has served on the advisory board of the Planetary Society. It's a space advocacy nonprofit. Currently, Bob is starring alongside other sci-fi notables, Doug Jones, Bill Mumy, Bruce Boxleitner, and the late Mira Furlan, among others, in Space Command Redemption. Welcome, Bob. Before we get into your role in Space Command, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions about some other things. First, let's talk about your role as the voice of Johnny Cab in Total Recall. Did you just record the lines, or were you on set at any point?
I was never on set. The scene itself was shot in a film studio in Mexico City. I recorded my lines with the director, Paul Verhoeven, in L.A. And I do remember pitching a joke to Paul Verhoeven when that I wanted to pre-record when Arnold, jumps in the cab and goes, "Drive, just drive." I wanted to say, you talk kind of funny. Are you from out of town? And Paul Verhoeven said, "No, we don't do that with Arnold. No."
So was the physical model actually based on your appearance, or was that just coincidence?
Yes. The amazing genius, Rob Bottin, who did those practical, makeup effects. This is before CGI. And he just had a brilliant mind for doing this kind of stuff. I had worked on the Joe Dante movie, The Howling, playing the main werewolf in that.
I remember.
I had worked on a movie called Innerspace, playing an alien character encased in rubber, plus the alien character's father. I had worked on Ridley Scott's Legend, the fantasy film starring Tom Cruise and Mia Sara playing a witch. So he had worked with me and buried me in makeup before. And this was my swan song. He knew that I had enough of working, under heavy makeup. But he said, could I mold your face? And this is even before I had the role of to do the voice. He said, "I'm sure, you'll have to audition for Paul for the voice, but I'd like to use your face." So he did mold it, and with that ridiculous, grinning expression. So it is a mold of my head. And then he just adapted certain things. And then I had to audition for Paul. So I was happy, because it could have been just my features with someone else's voice coming out. So I was glad.
Correct. Speaking of Innerspace, let's talk about one of my favorite characters, and that's the hitman known as the cowboy, seen in the movie Innerspace with Dennis Quaid, Martin Short, and Meg Ryan. Now, was the look and voice of the character already determined, or did you help shape that?
Oh, I definitely helped shape that. They didn't know that role. Spielberg was the producer. They wanted that character to be scary, and Joe Dante wanted him to be funny. So I had to audition for Steven and pretend to be scary. And then Joe said, once you're cast, we'll just do whatever we want. So most of that was improvised. A lot of the lines in that movie, I simply made up. The lines with Meg Ryan, "Women love me, but you know that."
Oh. Now, what about the singing?
There was no real script because the character had so few lines. So in my improvised audition first on video for Spielberg, Joe lit me like a Sergio Leone movie with I'm in bright light that fades into darkness. And I sang a medley of country western songs in just a stupid, undecipherable Middle Eastern accent.
Right.
And it was so funny when I went, I said, "Yippee-yi-oh-hi-yi," that they just put it in the movie. They said, you have him sing in the scene. So that shows how Joe Dante, when he reuses actors that he likes, and he gives you enormous freedom to come up with stuff. So that, I would say, is a real tribute to Joe Dante's love of actors and the freedom he gives them to just, to either hang themselves or excel.
Now, the thing that got me was you singing the cowboy song, I'm an old cowhand. Let's get into Space Command Redemption. I just watched it the other day, and I love the look and feel of it. It's retro, but yet contemporary. How did you get involved in this crowdfunded project?
Well, Mark Zickery is an old friend. He runs a roundtable in Hollywood just to sort of give free advice to people who want to write or act or direct in science fiction. So he's a good guy, as is his wife, Elaine, and they co-directed this. He pitched it to me as really what I did on Star Trek from the other side. This time I was the organic, the human character who didn't understand the artificial intelligence character who wanted to be recognized as an individual and a sentient intelligence. Because Doug Jones's character is designed to be just a drone working in a mining colony, and he becomes sentient and then rebels and wants the respect accorded to any individual. So it's some of the same themes from Star Trek, from my perspective, from the other side of the relationship. I love Doug Jones. It was great to have all these great scenes with him. And I also play a Muslim character for the first time in my life. And I had to be taught how to sit on a prayer rug and how to pray. My character's named Yusef Sikander. And I look surprisingly rugged to myself in this movie. I didn't recognize myself. I look very sort of rough and ready.
I think it's also the way they filmed it, the way they captured your look. It's a bit different on there. Well, the Doctor returns in season 2 of Star Trek Prodigy on Netflix in July. So tell me, will we learn anything new about the Doctor?
Yeah, I think you will. I just can't tell you what it is. And you'll look that I look good in animated form. You'll learn that. And it was great to be reunited with Robert Beltran and, of course, Kate Mulgrew playing our same characters. And it's fun to revisit a character, even vocally, to try to sound the way you sounded 25, 30 years ago. So, and Prodigy is just a delightful show. It's really capturing a new young generation of Star Trek fans, which is wonderful. And I highly recommend it. If you haven't seen it, tune in right in early July and watch both the first season, which I'm not in, and the brand new, never seen before second season of Star Trek Prodigy.
Well, we definitely look forward to watching that. Remember, you can rent or buy Space Command Redemption on Amazon or Google Play, or watch for free on Tubi. Bob, thank you so much for your time and sharing your thoughts with us today on Beyond the Mic.
All right. Thanks, Dave.
And that, my friends, is a Beyond the Mic shortcut. If you're enjoying these conversations, please check out another Beyond the Mic episode to find more actors, artists, and people you need to know. We'd also appreciate a like and subscribe on the Good Pods app.